Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hello, everybody. Yes, hello, Eric. Hope everybody's busy as a bee, cheerful as a cricket, steady as a clock, standing on the rock, and you're faith in it until you make it, because it has everything to do with weight loss. We want to call things forth and forward that are not as though they already are. When I was over 300 pounds, I started eating like I was 200 pounds. I just, like some of these prosperity preachers, I'm not into that, but like some of them say, name it and claim it, or claim it, name it and claim it. So, when I was over 300 pounds, I decided that I was going to begin to eat like a 200-pound man. Big Travis had to go. Those prescription medications had to go. And you know what? When I started eating like a 200-pound man, like the size I wanted to be, instead of the size that I was, the weight just disappeared. I had the right tools. I followed through with those tools, and that jiggly, itchy stuff that I wanted off my body came off my body, and it will yours too. Once you have that made up mind. For years when I would try to lose weight, I was 300 pounds. So I would say, I'm starving to death. I'm starving to death. I always fluctuating between 270 and 300. And, I try to lose. I go, I'm starving to death. I wasn't starving to death. I tell you who was starving, Big Travis. But Big Travis had to go. Hey, everybody, my name's Travis Martin. I've lost over 100 pounds with this great program, come off all prescription medications. Program has changed my life forever, and it's changing tens of thousands of other lives too, because it's practical, sustainable, fun, no gimmicks. Last night, I was reminded looking at some other content, trying to consume content, trying to figure out how we get this message in front of the world, because it's saving and changing lives. And I've seen so many gimmicks. And I can see why people take the bait, because I used to take the bait, the promise of, hey, take this supplement and the weight's going to fall off, or just a wrap is going to help me get rid of my gut. It's always something, right? And last night I thought, I'm about to eat a sandwich. Like, I'm on a budget right now that in my occupation is feast or famine. It literally is. It's feast or famine. When things are good, they're good. When they're tough, they're tough. And we've imposed a budget on ourselves. And around my house is pintos and sandwiches right now. And I thought, telling people they can eat a sandwich and calling a sandwich exercise on a plate, people, it's just not sexy to them. It doesn't sound sexy. We're not talking about wild caught fish and free roaming chickens and hugging trees. So it's not sexy to talk about eating a sandwich, but that's where most Americans are. Most Americans are living in such a way that they have to shop at their local grocery store, and they're going to Publix, they're going to Kroger, they're going to Winn-Dixie, and they don't know how to combine foods. They think if they're not doing pills and potions and gimmicks that they can't lose weight. All I need for the most powerful weight loss under God's sun is a local grocery store and some education, and then a big why. You got to have a big why. But anyway, I digress. My name's Travis. I want to welcome everybody here. If you are new, let us know. Let us know that you're new. This is your first class. We want to make you our special guest today. The Shibboleth family is here, and we're all about love and care and concern for one another, inspiring one another. So please let us know in the comments if you are a new person. We're so happy to have you today. With that said, this is our Q&A. Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m., I go live and I do Q&A. This will be changing soon, where in my text that I send out, the first part of the class will be for new folks. We're about to see an influx of new folks as we open up enrollment again. And the first part will be for them. It will be focused effort on our foundation and our fast track system. And then about 45 minutes after the class starts, we'll go into Q&A for our more experienced members. So for our experienced members who think that you know it all and that you don't need the basics or fundamentals anymore, then you're going to, and I'll let you know when this happens. You can come in about 45 minutes after I get started, and we'll transition over to Q&A for all members. I hope that makes sense. Hope that both our new members and our experienced members alike will enjoy that. Please, if you're new here, or if you're not and you've just never done what we ask you to do, please watch the fast track videos. I challenged some people earlier in the week to go on and finish that material up. Doesn't take long. We're going to talk a little bit about it this morning. Go on and get through those videos and get through your laps. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. The first three letters of the word diet spell die. Anything you start with and cannot stick with forever is a waste of your time. So we want you to install, if you will, the right foundation. Okay, that right foundation so that we can begin to build onto that. Once you master the foundational concepts of our program, then we can start personalizing for you. But you'll come in here and you'll feel like you're drinking water from a fire hydrant, and we'll scare you off if you don't have that fast track education, because you're going to initiate. How many of you, I digress, but how many of you maybe didn't start off the way that you were supposed to? Not your fault, it's the culture, but you didn't start off the way you were supposed to. Now you got it. But for a while, you really pushed back on the fast track videos, and it just seemed overwhelming and hard. All of this just seemed so hard. And then once you went through fast track and the laps, these classes started making more sense. Are y'all with me on that? So I want our new folks to go through things the right way. A thing that begins right will end right. And here's another challenge for us old dogs. I'm calling me that, not you. An old dog can learn new tricks. And a lot of you come here with a lot of baggage like I had. You've tried everything to lose weight. You still have some hope, so you're trying something again. But at the first sign of trouble, you're out of here, right? A lot of that has to do with the years of baggage that you bring to Shibboleth. What we're looking for here is somebody that's willing to clean out the mind and begin again, almost like a new birth. You're having a new birth where you're learning to eat correctly, and you're learning how to put foods together in such a way that you create the hormonal pathways and the body chemistry so that you can efficiently lose body fat. Our members lose, those that strictly adhere, very easily lose up to 10% of their body weight in their first 30 days. Imagine that. So somebody that's 300 pounds, and there's people here that's done this. If they stick to the program, 300 pounds, you can lose 30 pounds in your first 30 days. I think that's good. If you're 180 pounds, you could lose 18 pounds in your first month. Then it's about 1% of your body weight each week thereafter if you are adhering to the program. Quick recognition. New partners, thank you so much, Stormcat. Beautiful, beautiful words from Stormcat. We want to thank all of our partners, and Stormcat being the newest of the partners. Thank you so much to all of you. How many partners do I have here right now? Would you let me know if you're a partner? Thank you, Paulette. Thank you, Sally. Thank y'all all so much. We've got some special things coming where there'll be a nominal charge for our regular members, but for our partners, it'll be free. We're going to keep bringing those partner perks. We really appreciate you all joining in with our mission to help people, and we really appreciate you. Could not do this without you. Weekly weight loss, 500.9 pounds. That's tremendous. This is just the people that self-reported, and the average person in the last week, even including those that had weight gain or didn't lose, was 2.2 pounds per week. If you run that math, you're talking about each person averaging over 100 pounds of weight loss per year. 1 day weight loss, yesterday self-reported 53 pounds, reported gone. Number of badges earned, Hope Cantrell, 3 10-pound badges earned, Hope Cantrell, Jennifer Weeks, Lisa Ickard. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Congratulations. 25-pound, too many to mention. Congratulations to our 25-pound badge earners. And then how about a big round of applause, everyone, for Tammy Ridley, 75 pounds down. Way to go. Only 4 fast track badges earned. So I'm going to have to keep with the reverse psychology and say, don't earn your fast track badge. Maybe people will start earning it. We live in a microwave society, don't we? Instant gratification. It's getting like this. You don't even want what you want right now. You want it 5 seconds ago, right? And unfortunately, weight loss doesn't work that way. We're gonna have to cultivate the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, meekness, self-control, and faith. That's what we're here to work on. Once we get that settled, we just decide, even with our eating behaviors, we're gonna live and eat unto the Lord. All of a sudden, life changes, man, for the better. Okay, so let's get started with our Q&A today. I'm gonna answer questions, and then we're gonna talk a little bit about fast track before we go today. I want folks to start earning that fast track badge. First question. I haven't been off plan, but I have had 4 holidays in the past week. How can I lose 10 pounds in 10 days? Okay, so there's no way, and I said in the text, ask me how, and I'm going to tell you how. But I always want to be truthful with you. And let me ask the group. Let me quiz y'all to see what you know. Let me see what you know here. In order to lose 10 pounds of fat, how much of a calorie deficit do we have to be in terms of calories? In other words, 10 pounds of fat stores 3,500 calories each. One pound of fat stores 3,500 calories on your body. So to lose 10, you would have to be in what kind of calorie deficit? How many thousands of calories would you have to be in a deficit? Correct. Tanny says 35,000 calories. Is there any way to be in a 35,000 calorie deficit in 1 week? No, it's not really possible. There's some crazy things you could do that you wouldn't be willing to do to get in that calorie deficit, but that's really not possible. I've been telling y'all, I've been watching the Survivor show a lot and gotten reacquainted with it. And Big Tom lost 83 pounds in 39 days. And people were, how do you do that? In a thread that I've seen. And I'll tell you how he did it. He lost a lot of water. He lost a lot of glucose. He lost some muscle, especially on a starvation diet like that. He lost a lot of muscle, but he lost fat too. So why would I text out, tell me how I can lose 10 pounds in 10 days? I'm going to tell you how. If you're restarting or you're coming off 4 holidays, okay, if you're like me, if I go on 4 holidays, I can easily put on 10 pounds, but it's not all fat. A lot of it's water weight and the weight of glycogen. So anytime I'm restarting after a hiatus, or I'm getting started for the very first time, it's pretty easy to lose that kind of weight in the first 10 days. You just follow the system. Now, it's not something to be sad about that it wasn't all fat that you lost. It's something to feel good about. Weight is weight. How many of you feel terrible when you're walking around with bloat? Just bloat. You feel heavy. Yeah. So it's still good weight. That weight has to go. And then when we get all that excess water and glycogen off, not only do we feel lighter and better, then we can start really losing the most impactful weight, the fat. The excess fat is going to start disappearing once we deplete those glycogen levels. The body uses that as energy during a calorie deficit. We're going to save our muscle. We're going to preserve it by following the Shibboleth shield and getting enough protein so that we don't lose very much muscle. So we won't be losing, not much of that 10 pounds is going to be muscle because we're preserving it. A lot of it will be water and glycogen, but then all of a sudden you make the shift. You lock it down and rip off the fat burning knob. After 2 perfect days, we call it perfect days. After 2 perfect days, you're burning the booty then. Now, people can get discouraged because the scales aren't dropping as fast as when they lost that first 10 pounds in roughly 10 days. They're not losing it as fast and they can get discouraged, but they'll make comments like, my clothes are falling off. I can tell in the inches. See, now you're losing fat. You're losing almost all fat. So from a standpoint of looking at yourself in the mirror, every couple of pounds you lose, you're seeing new lines. You're seeing the shape come back because you're just getting rid of that jiggly, itchy fat that takes up so much space on the body. So how do we get off to that kind of start? Number one, we've got to drink our water. Okay. Now you learn all this in Fast Track, but I'm gonna help you. Like if you're coming off those holidays, I'm gonna help you dial in right now. Okay. You got to drink your water, a half a gallon to a gallon of water a day. Without staying properly hydrated, you will not create the internal environment where you can efficiently lose body fat. Every process that your body goes through to get rid of unwanted body fat requires proper hydration if you want to get through that efficiently. You need to journal. One of the reasons we got here is because we don't have personal accountability tools, and a journal is a great one. I don't know of a program that exists that their data, that keeps data, will not suggest that without a journal, clients are not successful. You have to have a journal. If you bite it, you ride it, you hog it, you log it. Food combinations, controlling insulin with the proper food combinations. We can have our carbohydrate, but we need to consume it with the right kinds of protein and the right kinds of fibers. That will help neutralize insulin, neutralize the fat bus. We have to become more disciplined and eat tighter portions without the grazing. So we follow our portion rule that we learn in Fast Track always on a perfect day, and we stop the grazing. Timing, we attempt to get minimally a 12-hour fast a day, every 24 hours, 12 hours including sleep without eating. Optimal results, 16 hours, but 12 is a good start if you're used to grazing. You've got to begin to exercise those self-discipline muscles if you want your discipline to come back. People tell me weekly, I have no discipline. Yes, you do. There's a couple of things going on. You've not exercised your discipline muscles by telling yourself no enough. That's part of the problem. That will come back if you'll exercise that spiritual muscle. The other part is you don't have a big enough why. You haven't cultivated a big enough reason to do this. In other words, food and the love of it is winning out over the life that you could have, the lean, healthy life you could have. So we have to diminish the value in our mind and our perceptions. We have to diminish the value we attach to unapproved foods, and we have to increase the value that we see in losing weight. What is that going to mean to us? How much better are we going to feel? Can we get off prescriptions? Will we feel sexier? Will we feel more alive, more alert, more energy? We'll be proud of ourselves. So thinking on that, meditating on that, focusing on that, that will be greater than temptation if you keep working on it. That's why every day I look at my vision for my life statements and I look at my vision tracker every day, and it changes all the time. It's always evolving. When I started, I didn't do this for the right reasons. I just wanted to look good naked. How many of you want to look good naked? Raise your hand. I was bullied some in school, like many of us were. I always had an awkward build. I never felt attractive to the opposite sex. I didn't feel attractive when I looked in the mirror. Wasn't very proud of myself. So when I started, it was actually a little righteous indignation. I was sick and tired of being discounted. And whether I was or not, that was my perception. And I said, you know what? I'm going to look good naked. I'm going to get me some Brad Pitt abs. And I focused on that. It's not my goals today. Well, maybe it is. Who doesn't want to look good naked, right? But here's the thing. That helped me get moving. And guess what happened? I got closer to the Lord. I dropped the medications. Same thing will happen to you. You need to work on your why so much more than you probably are. But Travis, you haven't told us how to lose 10 pounds in 10 days. I just give you half the equation. Here's the next. Does everybody understand the red column? Y'all know what the red column is? If you don't, you haven't been through fast tracking. So if we follow the endless variety that only the red column offers, and we have 2 to 3 eating episodes a day from the red column, or a -2 or -3 meal replacement, or a -2 or -3 recipe, and we do that, and then we go get our steps in. You know, if you're able, 15 to 20,000 steps. If not, do what you'll do. And the weight comes off like taking a blowtorch to butter. The fat just melts. You can almost hear the fat. You screaming, going, "Oh no!" Like the Wicked Witch in that Wizard of Oz. "I'm melting, I'm melting." If you just follow the protocol. And yet, you know, how often should I do that? Every day. Life is short. Redeem the time. Aren't you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Aren't you tired of putting this off? Think about Esau and Jacob. Esau sold his birthright and gave up his blessing for a little grub. He said, "What good is my birthright if I starve to death?" He wasn't going to starve to death, but Jacob valued the birthright and the blessing and was willing to give up that food that he had made to Esau for Esau's birthright and blessing. Isn't it time that you're Jacob, your inner Jacob? Isn't it time that you step up and you let the inner Jacob win out over the Esau? Isn't it time? Isn't it time to value the birthright and blessing more than you do a tombstone pizza or a chimichanga? Isn't it time? All right, let me get to some more questions. I have been trying to eat. Oh, sorry, Lee. When does enrollment open for new people? Any day this week. We're going to open up. We've restructured internally. We'll be announcing the new price points very soon. I have been trying to eat the 1 cup of kettle and fire bone broth for lunch and then an approved supper, but I get a little weak toward the end of the day. Any suggestions? Maybe add a protein plus bar with broth or add chicken. More protein would help. It sounds like with 2 eating episodes, you just need to add a 3rd eating episode. Now, keep in mind, if you're consistent with your perfect days, and if you're not consistent with perfect days, you're getting weak because of the swings in your blood sugar. Okay. And a lot of people who feel weak don't feel like they're getting enough food. A lot of times when I look in their journal, I see perfect holiday, perfect holiday, and they go back and forth. So you're never turning your body into an efficient fat burning machine. And in order to turn your body into a fat adapted metabolism instead of a carb one, you've got to be consistent with those perfect days in the beginning. You got to be really consistent, 6 and 7 days in a row. That helps you get more fat adapted quicker. Because when your body's depleted of glycogen, and that's what it's used to, you will feel weak because your body hasn't shifted. It's looking for you to give it some more glycogen. And you haven't shifted yet into a fat adapted metabolism. So I don't know your situation, so I'll throw that out there. Now, if you are being consistent and you still feel weak, you just need to add, because you said you're having 2 eating episodes, just need to add that 3rd eating episode when you're having those weak moments. Give yourself some extra calories, but calories that still control insulin and still promote fat loss. I'm not a big believer in the protein plus bars, but that would work. You could do that. Chicken breast would be better, some whole food, some whole protein. One of the things I do when I get weak during the day in the afternoon, I'll take me some boar's head ham. I like their thin sliced ham, wrap it around a piece of cheese and a pickle. I'm good to go. So, the protein bar's fine. I might choose a Quest bar over that one, but just some ideas for you there. I'm sorry you're feeling weak. Just keep your eyes on the prize. We're going to go through times like that. All I can do is share my past situations with you. At 300 pounds, you darn right, there's times I got weak. Not 200-pound Travis. 200-pound Travis didn't get weak, but 300-pound Travis did. I was having to eat like a 200-pound man while I was still 300 pounds. It was the sacrifice that I had to make to be the size that I am today. You know, I was 44% body fat. And this morning I'm 13% body fat. That's huge. On my way, that's why we say, faith it until you make it. Don't fake it till you make it. Faith it until you make it. Call things forth and forward that are not as though they are. Because as I got smaller, I needed less and less food. But when I was large, your body wants to maintain that mass. You know, so if you get up to 400 pounds, your body wants to maintain that 400 pounds, and it's going to pitch a fit sometime. It don't want to die. But I used to say, Big Travis has got to go. He got to die so that little Travis can live. Lean Travis can thrive. So just some thoughts there. So much of this is behavioral. So much of this is as we think. It doesn't matter what you think, if what you think is true or not is true to you. Perception's reality. If you think you can, you can. If you think you cannot, you cannot. Perception's reality. So if you think you're starving to death, I have to approach it like you're starving to death. Because you believe that, and that's your truth. But it's not true. Just more to think about. Where does venison fall in category on meat leanness? If your venison, if the butcher does not add fat to your venison, the processor doesn't add fat, it's a category 1 lean protein. It's awesome. If the butcher adds fat to it during processing, it counts as a category 4. Keep these questions coming. They're excellent. Yeah, so much of this is how you, yes, I like what Amanda says. So much of this is how you speak. The Bible says that the tongue is set on fire of hell and no one can tame it. And it's like a small rudder on a great ship. Look, I'm drinking some Spark. My tongue's orange. Ooh, some Spark. My tongue, it's small. My body is big. You think that my body can control my tongue, but it cannot. My tongue controls my body. So if I say I'm depressed, is that going to motivate me? If I say I'm starving to death, is that going to motivate me? If I say nobody loves me, is that going to motivate me? If I say I'm fat, is that going to motivate? If I say I'm ugly, is that going to motivate? And by the way, the more I talk bad about myself, the more people begin to believe it anyway. You're better to talk yourself up, not down, not with arrogance, but talk yourself up. I am beautiful. I'm an intelligent man. I'm a beautiful man, inside and out. I am self-disciplined. God's got this. God's going to take care of me. I'm smiling. I'm speaking powerfully and positively. That'll get you motivated. Maybe your life really does suck. But saying it sucks, is it going to help or is it going to make it worse? So if I'm going to tell a lie, it took me a long time to get this. I used to lie. Now, I wouldn't do it like I'm going to lie, but I would say I'm starving to death. This is so hard. This is so expensive. I lied. Losing weight's hard. I lied, and it really worked against me. I also learned to lie the other way. I started going, losing weight is easy. I started doing that. It's easy and it's fun. That's a lie too. It's not hard. It's not easy. It's really not. It's somewhere in, the truth is somewhere in between that. But we act and behave based upon the stories we tell ourselves. Amen? So why not tell a good story? Travis, that's just not who I am. Then you better change, because it won't get any better if you're Mr. or Mrs. Eeyore. Any more questions? Let's see. Got some more coming here. Good. I just watched a video you did previously on hemp hearts and hemp flakes. You said you store yours in the fridge. Is it a must that you store them in the fridge? No. I feel like they stay fresher longer. As long as a hemp heart isn't rancid and you won't have to ask if it is, it's good. Never harmful, always helpful. But I prefer mine in the fridge. They just seem to stay fresher and more crisp. If I take the approved vital proteins, collagen, peptides, will it break my fast? Yes. Yes. Unless you're just having 20 or 30 calories, and then I don't know that that would break your fast. But if you're having 70, 80 calories of it, I'm going to leave that up to you because I'm not familiar with the product. But it's mostly protein. So protein breaks a fast. Now, if you're just having 30, 35 calories of it as a supplement, I'm going to leave that up to you. For my fast, I try to have nothing but 0 calorie or near 0 calorie beverages. If I have anything outside of that, even a pickle, I call that breaking my fast. More questions, please. Any more questions? Thanks, Beth. Beth letting everybody know sparkling ice is on sale. Is this program safe for children? I'm not a doctor. I am a wellness coach, not a doctor. I can't treat, prescribe, anything like that. Now, with that said, the fast track system I would take to your child's pediatrician. And if your pediatrician says this is not a good program for your child, I would go find another get a different opinion, because fast track is mostly whole foods. So is it healthy for your child? It might prolong their life by many, many decades. If you look at what's going on now with our eating supply, that causes huge insulin, too much insulin consistently and too long shortens lifespan like nothing else I've ever studied. So our children are inundated with Cheez-Its and Rice Krispie treats and Pop-Tarts. They have so much growth hormone surging through their system. Not only is obesity a problem for children, the corruption, the breakdown of the brain that it does, the breakdown of cellular integrity and destruction of the mitochondria. Runaway insulin levels is a bad deal. So the quicker you can get your child in a pediatrician approved program where they learn how to eat whole foods combined the right way, tremendous. And your kid's still going to want a Pop-Tart. So what we've done is found lesser evils that's much better for that child, my child. I can't talk about your child, my child, okay? Much better for my child than them having a Pop-Tart. So we have the lesser evils that help control insulin, and then we have the whole foods and learning whole food combinations. So in that, yeah, I think for children that our program's extremely healthy, but you need to discuss that with your pediatrician. Yes, it's fast track is mostly whole foods, foods that grow from the ground, foods that roam the earth. Everything else outside of that we approve of is just lesser evils where we can make a swap and we still get the taste of mac and cheese. We still get the taste of a pizza. We still get the taste of a Pop-Tart, but in a different form that helps us control insulin. Good to have you, Kay. Yeah, we're about to open back up enrollment. So good to have you. Look forward to you becoming a Shibboleth family member. we're excited for you and for us to get to know you, to help you. We call us high-minded, but we want the Lord to use this program to change the world. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments? I want to get all your questions answered, and then I'm going to just remind the new folks on where we need to start so that we start this thing right and it ends right. Any other questions? Got a couple more popping up. I hear people say my metabolism is slow, and some people talk about a fast metabolism. They don't know what they're talking about. When you think about what I said earlier, the lies we tell ourselves or we believe, and we act on it like it's true. Metabolism is based upon the amount of muscle and lean tissue that requires blood flow. So you have the metabolism you're supposed to have based upon the amount of lean living tissue you have on your body. If you want to increase your metabolism, then you have to reconstitute old muscle or build new muscle. If you're alive, you have an adequate metabolism. When people say that they have a fast metabolism and you have a slow one or whatever, they're implying that you are at a disadvantage, or you're implying that you're at a disadvantage. You're not at a disadvantage. Your body works like everybody else's body does. You're going to lose body fat depending upon the level of calorie deficit you're in, the amount of protein that you preserve muscle with, and to the levels that you control insulin. So it's not fast, slow. In fact, losing 1% of your body weight per week, which is routine around here, some doctors would tell you that's overly aggressive. So is your metabolism going to be as fast as mine? If you don't have as much, I don't have a lot of muscle, not saying that, but as a 6'3" man, my metabolism probably burns through more calories than yours, because not probably, but does, because I have more muscle on my frame. But your metabolism's working the way it's supposed to based upon the muscle on your frame. I never like to talk about myself being at a disadvantage, because I will begin to believe that. You don't have a slow metabolism. You have your metabolism, and it's working. And if you get in a calorie deficit and you follow the Shibboleth shield, the weight's got to go. Are you going to lose weight as fast as me, or as fast as I did at 300 pounds? From a percentage of body weight, you might lose it faster. Do you understand what I'm saying? A lot of people, like, I'll have a 5'4" female, and a husband is 6'5", and she's mad because he lost more weight than her in a week. But what about percentage of body weight? Do you know, to this day, I've been doing weight loss challenges for 20 years, and I've only had one man win a weight loss challenge when it was based on percent of body weight. Women almost always outperform the men, but women like to compare themselves to somebody a lot bigger than them. That's not fair. That's not a fair comparison. At 300 pounds, and let's say you weighed 200, your 2 pounds of loss is equal to my 3 pounds of loss. So just something to think about. Can we drink a spark on a fast? You may. What are the perks to be a partner? We have the partner exercise section. Partners get discounts on things that we offer from time to time. And we do an exclusive deep dive partner class 3 times a month. And those are then put in the live classes for partners, deeper dive, sometimes advanced topics. And then we, of course, put that in the library for you, and we continue to work on more partners, more partner perks. What we ask people to do, though, is not give for perks. We ask that you don't do that. We're not a big company. We help a lot of people, tens of thousands, but we're very inexpensive. We often have a deficit, and we have to make that up with loans or whatever. We're really intent about saving lives and not charging what we can. We want to keep our fees very low so that the whole world can do this program. And we ask our partners to pray before becoming a partner and not to do it for perks. Do it because the Lord led you to do it. Then it just makes Sasha and I feel good to offer some additional benefits to your membership. Makes us feel we like to give. We don't believe you can outgive God. So those are the three major ones right now, and we're working on more. Will you be doing another weight bet soon? I need that level of motivation and accountability. That last one put a fire. I've got to do a lot of work on it, Michelle. I appreciate the question. It keeps it on my mind. But there were so many people that got mad and upset that I have to spend some time rethinking how to do it. You can't please everybody, but I would say more than half the people that did it were not happy campers. And I've got too much stress to pull that card out right now, but I will work on it, try to learn from the mistakes. I'm glad that you liked it. Hopefully you'll enjoy one of the upcoming weight loss challenges, and then I'll get back around to improving the quote unquote diet bet Shibboleth wager system when I can. You have to have a lot of people to do that to make it work. And I would say about half of them at least were very unhappy with us. And it was just, I'm not ready to do it. Darn it. I know you need it. What are some upcoming challenges? It depends on which ones the team get through for me first. I'll either be doing Get Your Groove Back, or I'll be doing another type of challenge. But again, I'm dependent upon my team, and they're working a lot of overtime. As soon as I can announce it, I will announce it. And it will be sooner rather than later. Tina, I'm about 10 pounds away from my ideal weight. When I get there, I want to start lifting weights. I have been successfully you're welcome, Michelle, eating to lose weight for quite a while now. How should I shift my eating to be able to gain muscle once I hit my ideal weight? Being careful not to gain the fat back. You need to still eat in the right food combinations. If you really want to put on muscle, you will also put on some fat. So we need to control the amount of fat that you're putting on so that you can put on muscle and be stronger. You have what we call a cutting season, which you're in now, and then you'll go into a building season. A cutting season requires a calorie deficit. A building season requires a calorie surplus. So you'll want to be in a surplus calorie range just a smidge for about 12 weeks and put on some muscle along with some fat. Then we preserve that and go back into a cutting season. We preserve that muscle and we start cutting the fat again. And now it's just, you can't do both at the same time. So be careful. And what I would suggest, if you're still following Shibboleth approved foods even more strictly, but spend more time in the blue column. Spend more time in the blue column. You'll need some more carbohydrate to fuel your workout and to help have a muscle sparing effect. And then I would go ideal weight times 12 with your calories. You know how when we're losing weight, we do ideal weight times 8? You need to do ideal weight times 12. So your portions per meal may go up, or you may even want to add additional meals if you want to keep your meals small, but it's a good problem to have. So congratulations on arriving at your ideal weight. So again, let me know if you have questions about that. Calorie range, ideal weight times 12. You will put on some fat. Be ready for that psychologically. But if you're working out, you'll have a good look. I mean, because you'll be building up muscle very, very quickly up underneath the fat. So it's a good look, right? My weight, depending on what kind of goals I have, I gave up on trying to put on muscle. I move more toward I want to tone the muscle I want to preserve the muscle, because every time I begin to put on muscle and get stronger, because I was eating in a calorie, I put on fat too. And I've just decided psychologically, I want to stay light and lean, and I'm happy with the amount of muscle I have. But if you're wanting to put on additional muscle, you're going to have to up those calories, but you still need to be wary of the amount of insulin that you are secreting daily, because too much insulin is going to cause you to put on too much fat. You need insulin to put on muscle or to put on fat. So it's going to be a slippery slope, but it's fun. It's a good journey. Maybe you try 6 weeks the first time, where you increase your calories, ideal weight times 12. The cautionary tale here is most of my clients who decide after getting in ideal weight range that they want to put on muscle, they go to the gym, they listen to the trainer's telling them to eat more, eat more, eat more, just what a former big boy wants to hear. And then the next thing you know, you put on 40, 50 pounds of fat. Be very careful. Do not abandon the principles of Shibboleth, or you'll put that weight back on. Thank you, Sally, for the kind words. Any other questions? Let's go take a look at our fast track. All right. So if you're new or not, and you just need a refresher, first thing we want to do is go to our dashboard. We've logged in, we go to our dashboard. I've got to get out of her account. I'm still, poor thing, I'm still in her account. Let me get back out where I was checking a journal. Let me get logged into my account. One of my accounts. All right. So I'm going into dashboard, and you can see all these dashboards: fast track, journey, tiger's eye, partner. I'm going to fast track. And here is where everybody should start. It does not take long. You just have to decide to do it. And it's so rewarding. And you don't even have to listen to me. You get to listen to the amazing, much more structured Kim Danke. And you've got 7 laps here, and each lap, it really takes you on a tour of the website, a quick tour, so that you can locate everything you need to run your life from an eating standpoint moving forward. And then you have the videos. You got to get these videos in that teach you the basics. There are 14 videos, okay? So real simple. Sometimes it's just getting people started that I find really helps. Real simple here, share sound. We go in there, and let's say we've got this video on timing.
Welcome to Fast Track video number 8. Today we are going over the 5th component of the Shibboleth Shield, and this is the last component of the Shibboleth Shield. This is the one component of the shield that will not kick you out of having a perfect day. The other 4 need to be met. You need to make sure that you drink at least 64 ounces of water in a day. You need to make sure.
Okay, I just want to make sure that I'm using Zoom right. Can y'all all hear this? Are y'all able to hear Kim? I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm trying to make a point. Can y'all all hear it? Okay. And then when I get done watching this video, I want to mark it as watched. I want to mark that video as watched. Okay. So when I'm sitting
You've
here doing
journaled
this
everything that you put in your mouth in a day.
5 minutes and 33 seconds on this one short video.
You need to properly combine your foods and you need to eat in the proper portions. But this one, this timing component of the Shibboleth Shield is really about optimization. You want to optimize your body's.
Now, what Kim is doing here is taking you through one of the Shibboleth Shield components. And of course, these videos, quick, easy to watch. You can also watch my daily doses that I filmed a decade ago, more than a decade ago. You could watch those. But Kim, I feel, does a better job for our beginner than my daily doses. Daily doses may cover a little more of the material. Whichever route you want to take, the original daily doses are in the video library, or you can do the fast track, which I think Kim and Sasha laid out much better than I laid the daily doses out. I may cover a little more content, but they lay it out in what I believe is a much more organized way. But I watch my videos. How difficult is that? It's not difficult. Some of you are talking about getting off, you're needing to get off prescription medications. And all you got to do is watch some videos and apply the information, and your life improves. In less than 6 months, almost everybody here, with very few, there's a few exceptions, but in less than 6 months of some dedication, you can learn enough and apply enough that your life changes forever. And it's fun. There's nothing that I can't have. I know how to have a hamburger, a hot dog, pizza. I know how to eat at a restaurant. I know how to eat when I've got a sweet craving. If I want ice cream, if I want chocolate, if I want something salty. Shibboleth has rules for everything that you can come up with. And if you learn those rules, you will become the bully of food instead of food being the bully of you. Then when you get done with those fast tracks, you want to earn your fast track badge. And then boom, now we're all on an even playing field, and we're developing culture. We're developing community, which is a huge part of change. So please earn that fast track badge. They're so easy, y'all. When is Captain Jack coming back? I'm not sure. I think that we're going to do the Groove Challenge next. We're having fun. We have these theme challenges so we can all be where I can make teaching fun for myself and for everybody else. But I think Groove first before we do another Jack. Jack's fun, but yeah, he makes people cry. Our local family-owned pizza place has recently added a cauliflower crust. Are all cauliflower crust approved? Also, to make it a perfect day, are there limitations to what toppings I should order? We have a restaurant rule for pizza. It's a different rule for at home. That's why we've got a lifestyle. If I'm going to a regular pizza joint, I can have any pizza, 2 slices of it. It's not lean enough. It's not, but we need a pizza rule so that we can have a practical, sustainable, and fun program. So I can have 2 slices that my hands will cover, and I have to scrape off the toppings and eat them on a salad or carry my tortilla in, and I do that a lot, and then I scrape the toppings off and put them in my -2 or -3 tortilla, because that tortilla is amazing, helps me stay in fat burning mode. So I do that. That's one thing you can do. You go to Domino's and get a Philly cheesesteak on a thin crust and eat a couple of slices as is, that 2 hands will cover. Now, I went to my local family-owned restaurant and I asked them to bring in a cauliflower crust. The first one they brought in was so high in fat, I didn't think it was ideal. So they eventually found me one that was less than 5 grams of net carbs. Now I can have my crust too. So I would ask them, how many carbohydrate is in it and how much fat is in it? But most of the time, you're pretty safe with any cauliflower crust if you control your portion. So I would say you're okay but control your portion. Your pizza, if you're trying to have a perfect day, needs to fit on your portion plate or under your two-hand rule. Don't forget, everyone who's listening to this pizza conversation, how many of you, when you eat pizza, struggle eating just 2 slices that would fit on a portion plate? Not because you're not full. You won't convince me that 2 slices of pizza don't fill you up. But now you're eating for the gratification, right? The pure gratification. You're eating it for the mouth pleasure. You're full. I don't care what you tell me. 2 slices of pizza is satisfying to anyone who's not eating for pure mouth pleasure. But because of that mouth pleasure, and because it's the way you deal with boredom, stress, and anxiety, and you need that pleasure in your life, you might want a lot more. How many holidays do we get a month when we're trying to lose weight where I can eat the whole pizza if I want it? 6. Is that enough? You don't eat pizza every night. So some of these holidays can be preserved for when you go to your favorite pizza restaurant. Then you don't have to worry about it. Once you get into maintenance, how many times a month, if pizza's your thing, could you eat the whole pizza? 12. As long as, now I have a lot of people that say, Travis, I tested your theory and it didn't work for me. And you know what I usually find out? Their perfect days are not truly perfect days. My perfect days are perfect. If I so much as lick the cheese dust off a Dorito, that's my ethos. That's my rule. That's a holiday. I'm either doing it right or I'm not. There is no in between for me. I wish thou were cold or hot, but thou art lukewarm, God said. So therefore I spew thee out of my mouth. Let your yeas be yea and your nays be nay. When people, I often get, I run around behind the scenes in circles with nutritionists and dietitians, even though I'm not one. They sometimes even seek my counsel. And one of the things they always criticize is they feel that I've missed the mark and made the program too difficult by having what we call perfect days. This is a Bible-based program. It's either yay or it's nay. It's either perfect or it's holiday. And you know what you'll find if you truly live this lifestyle? You'll find that you finally are eating moderately. You're finally doing it moderately. Because watch this. I got to show you this again. I know I show it all the time. Here, somebody will have an aha moment that has not seen this. Here's the difference between our program and other programs. So my old lifestyle, my weight started here. Can y'all see my whiteboard? Are y'all with me? My weight started here. And I beat myself up all the time because I was overweight. And most days, even though I thought that I was a hog, that I was a glutton, most days my weight was kind of staying the same. I might go have a Speedy Gonzales at lunch at the Mexican restaurant. Might have a handful of chips, but I was mindful of my weight and all the prescriptions I was on. So I didn't want to just binge. So most days, Monday, let's say this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Most days I was doing okay. But then maybe on a weekend, so here, let me do it this way so I have a little room. Maybe on the weekend, I'm doing okay. I'm not really losing. I'm not doing everything perfect. I'm having a few Doritos or a Hershey Kiss, but I'm keeping my calories in line. Didn't realize I was spiking insulin. But then the weekend would come, or after church on Wednesday, and here's what would happen. I would hog trough it, baby. And then you know what would happen? My weight would go up. I thought it was my hog trough days that caused me the problem. And, but it wasn't. Then I would do okay for a while. I'm doing all right, nothing perfect, but I'm not really controlling insulin, but I'm not eating too much. And then it's date night, and boom, weight goes up again. And over time, me living a life like that, a lukewarm life, with some holiday. And I always tried to get these out of my life. I always tried to get the blow it days out of my life. Are you going to be able to get rid of all of your blow it days forevermore? No, you won't. So what I realized is I learned more about nutrition and lifestyle management. Oh, my problem wasn't my feast days. My problem was my lukewarm days. I have to have 2 perfect days to deplete my glycogen levels enough so that I can burn fat. So now how I live my life, after 2 days, I'm burning fat. My weight's going down. After church on Wednesday, weight goes up. After 2 days, I start going down again. Then I go on date night, my weight goes up again. But I get back, I do the right thing more than the wrong thing. And then over time, instead of ending up here, I end up down here. That's the difference. If you ask me physiologically, not spiritually or emotionally, physiologically, what is the key thing? What is that one thing that you want everybody to get? A perfect day. Learn to have a perfect day 24 to 25 times a month, because it's not hard, and your life changes. That's all there is to it. Charles, did the math, and I've lost an average of 3.32 pounds a week in the last 51 weeks. Tremendous. Brother Charles started at, I think, 400, and he's now down under 300. He's killing it, y'all. Great job, Charles. April, at my local store, we can't find any approved hot dogs from the list. That's a hard thing to accomplish. There's so many. So I know if you can't find a Hebrew National, 97% lean Hebrew National, I would ask them. And if they don't have Ballpark smoked white turkey franks or the 97 lean Hebrew National, you might just want to ask them to carry them. They carry both of those at all of the stores around me. So I haven't heard that one be a problem. So smoked white turkey franks, or look for a frank that has more protein than net carbs. You could do this if you're struggling finding a frank. Find one that has more protein than net carbohydrate. It does not need to have more than 10 carbs, and it needs to have at least 10 grams of protein if you want to improve your own frank. Does that make sense? Now, the ones I've picked out for you are better than that, but that's our baseline. You want to limit that starch, and that's what the carbs are in processed meat, is starch. It's horrible for you. We got to counter that with at least the same amount, if not more, of protein, and then you could get away with that until you can find the good one. The Hebrew National are far superior for your program than the smoked white turkey franks because of the starch difference. But I'll take either one if you want a hot dog. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments? Everybody get what they needed today. That's important to me, because I've got a large group that I've got to get through one day at a time, and convince you. It's not about tomorrow, the next day, getting you through one day at a time. You could have 2 of the Hebrew National. When it says you can have 2, try for 1 though. I don't like to have 2 of anything, just because I have gotten addicted to how it feels in my tummy. I've gotten addicted to how that light, lean living feels. I never like to feel full. And even if the calories are low enough and the combination's right, a couple of hot dogs stretches my stomach, and I've conditioned myself, instead of wanting that feeling, to hate that feeling. So anytime we can stop at 1 and then give our brain and stomach time to hook up, most of the time we're going to find ourselves satisfied. Oh, thank you, Tina. Glad that you enjoyed it. It's good to have everybody here. If all hearts and minds are clear, I'm going to work. Sasha and I are trying to restructure internally, and we're getting real close to being able to open up enrollment again. So I'm going to go if y'all are done with me. All right, y'all. Have a great one. We love you in the Lord. Remember, have a perfect day. God bless y'all.